Hello, guys. Hello. Good morning. Happy Thursday. This is Rebecca Lynn Pope, of course. And I am coming on. There was this subject, this thought I was having, and it's funny because it was probably about 4 or 5 days ago. Carrie and I were watching a movie or a show. And in this show, there was a sequence of events where this young man, his father owns a large business, and the father dies. And the son finds himself in a situation where it's time to sink or swim. It's time to take over his father's business. He's dealing with the death of his father. He's dealing with responsibilities that he really doesn't feel ready for. And I literally sat there and I paused the show for a second because I was literally like, wait a minute. And it reminded me of some different places in my life where I could look back and think about the times where there were really difficult situations, really difficult situations. And it's literally, you're going to have to make up your mind whether you're going to sink or swim. Are you going to fight or fold? Are you going to exercise your faith, or are you going to collapse and give in under the pressure? And I said, when I paused the show, I looked at Carrie and I was like, oh my God, Carrie, fight or fold. And I thought about how many situations I've been in, guys, where I literally had to fight for my life. I had to make up my mind that I was not going to give in to the circumstances, the pressures, the situations. And I thought about how, Terry, hang in there, honey. Listen, I thought about how I've observed over the years, guys, all the years of my clients and my coaching practice, and people who have a tendency to fold. A lot of people have a tendency to fold. They'll have a tendency to draw inwards and fold in on themselves. What does folding look like? Folding is when you give in to sadness, you give in to depression, you give in to giving up, you give in to hopelessness, you give in to feeling like there's nothing you can do, you give in to a victim mindset. This is what folding is. You give in to a scarcity mindset. And especially the times that we are in right now, this is a very just peculiar, abnormal time that we're living in right this second. And with everything that is going on, you could start to feel as if you don't have any power. You don't have any choices. You don't have, there's a whole lot that's going on that's out of your control. Agreed. I can agree with you on that. However, in every single circumstance, what is so crucial to understand, and where your power lies, is always going to be in your faith and in your fight. It's always going to start here with you making up your mind that no matter what happens, no matter what happens to this economy, no matter what happens to your job, no matter what happens with your money, no matter what happens with your kids in school, no matter what happens, you are going to be okay. You are going to thrive. You are going to come out of this. right? You are going to thrive through this, right? You're going to make up your mind that come hell or high water, you and yours, you're going to be okay. The God we serve, the God that is inside of us, is greater than any of these situations that we're facing. And no matter what, God gives you the creativity, gives you the ingenuity, gives you the wherewithal, the ideas for you to make money. Forget about just a job. That's right, Terry. I've started a business, caregiver service. Forget about it, just a job, you guys. Sometimes in these type of situations and crisis, God is pushing you out of your comfort zone. This is a wake-up call for a lot of people who have been sitting on their gifts, sitting on their talents, sitting on the ideas, sitting on the business ideas, sitting on the entrepreneurial drive. God keeps pushing and pushing and pushing, and you'll sit there procrastinating, or you're sitting there afraid, or you're just sitting there comfortable because you feel like whatever you have is so secure. You feel so secure in where you've been that you don't realize that someone else is writing those checks. Someone else, if you've got one contract and you're comfortable living on that one contract, guess what? If that one contract goes away, you're in trouble. So God has a way of shaking us up, guys. God has a way of shaking your tree, yanking your chain. And then it's going to be, what is the size of the fight in you? What is the size of the fight in you? Like they say, it's not the size of the dog. It's the size of the fight inside of you that's going to determine the outcome of these situations. Because at the end of the day, you've got to decide whether you're going to fight or are you going to fold. And it's easy to fold. Folding is easy. Giving up is easy. Feeling sorry for yourself is easy. Getting caught up in anxiety is easy. Relying on other people to take care of you, that's easy. Folding is easier than fighting. There's more folders than fighters. I'll say that again. There's more folders than fighters. You need to understand that in our society, you're going to be surrounded by folders. You're not going to be surrounded by fighters unless you intentionally surround yourself with fighters. You're going to be surrounded by folders. And if you're not careful, you give in to a folding mindset. You give in to a giving up mindset, a passive mindset, a victim mindset. I'm not saying that circumstances don't come, guys, that are not very difficult. I'm not saying that you're not going to have to make hard decisions. I'm not saying that there's not sacrifices. I'm not saying that it's not hard. It's hard. There's been some places in my life, and this is what made me do this video today. There are some places in my life when I look back that I had the decision of whether to fight or fold. And that exact circumstance and that exact situation is what made me into the warrior that I am today. It made me. We don't understand sometimes how crucial these decisions are. Who am I talking to today? We don't understand sometimes how crucial it is that we stand in the gap, that we stay on the mark, that we stay prayed up, faithful, believing, fired up, ready to take action, ready to seize the opportunities, ready to walk through the doors that God opens for us, ready for the connections, believing, and ready to take action. Ready to take action. It's not just about passively sitting back and waiting for something to fall in your lap, waiting for somebody to rescue you, waiting for someone to do something for you that God has given you the ability to do for yourself. God has given you the ingenuity, intelligence, creativity, drive, ambition, talents, gifts, experiences. It's where the rubber meets the road is where you make up your mind that you're going to take the necessary steps to build on what God has already given you. See, some of you, the ball has been in your court for a long time. The ball has been in your court for a long time. God gave you everything you needed for the next steps. But you're too busy getting so caught up 10 steps ahead on what you don't have. Oh, well, I don't have this for a building. Oh, well, I don't have this for the startup cost for this. But you haven't even done what you can do. You're not doing what you can with what God's already given you, and you're throwing up your hands and saying, I can't do it. It's not the right time. It must just not be meant to be. It's not God's will for me. Honey, people have done a whole lot with a whole lot less than you have right this second. People have activated their dreams and began to manifest everything that they want in life with a whole lot less than what you've got right now. A whole lot less. And so while you're waiting around for the perfect conditions, in the meantime, God has given you what you need to get started. God has given you what you need to go to the next level, to go to the next step. God has always made provision for whatever it is you're to do next. But that's why it's called faith, because he hasn't given you, I don't know how to work iPhone. He hasn't given you the next 5 steps. He's given you the next step. He has put in front of you exactly what you need. Terry says, you are prophetically speaking to me. Right, Terry? But then anxiety comes in, and fear comes in, and self-doubt comes in, and insecurities come in, and you're talking yourself out of doing what you can do right now. And guess what I've learned, guys? This is what I've learned. I've learned that when you do what you can with what you've got, God will take that little bit, that little seed of faith, that little mustard seed of faith, that little bit of something that you give God. He will take it and run with it. He's waiting on anyone that has even the smallest amount of faith to put themselves out there, to take the action, to do what he's calling you to do. If you will just do the little things, just a little bit, God comes in and just takes that ball and runs with it. And next thing you know, you've got your next thing and your next thing. This is how I became addicted to business. It's how I became addicted. It's how I became a serial entrepreneur. How I ended up owning multiple businesses. Because what I learned was that, is everything going to work out? No, not with everything. You're going to fail at some things. Some things are not going to work. But overall, I learned, if you will just try, if you'll just try, if you will just do whatever you can in each moment. Oprah, there's a quote by Oprah I keep on my phone, and it says, if you will do the best that you can with the current moment, it sets you up for the best in the next. If you will do the best you can and everything you can with this current moment, right now, it sets you up for success in the next moment. And that's really all God is requiring of you. Do the best you can. Do what you can with what you've got. Do what you can with what you've got. See, there's gifts inside of you. There's talent. God has got so much in you. We live in a society that wants you to be one-dimensional. There's a lot of pressure that society puts on you because it wants you to have a label. And in that label, it's just one thing. Jennifer Mackey, real estate agent. Right? Terry Dixon, caregiver company owner. Paulita, right? banking or whatever. They want you to fit these labels. But listen, sweetheart, we don't fit labels. We are multi-talented, multi-gifted. God has put so much inside of us. You're going to have to get comfortable with people not being comfortable with you. I do so many different things, and you have to get comfortable with people being like, what do you do? Oh, you do. Oh, you own that too, and you do this too, and you. Yes, I'm multi-gifted, multi-talented. I have a basic rule to how I live my life. 3 words. 3 words, guys. Guess what they are? Follow my bliss. Follow my bliss. Whatever makes me happy, whatever I enjoy getting paid to do, I'm going to make a check out of it. Whatever I enjoy doing, whatever brings me joy, whatever fulfills me. And guess what? If I try something and I start doing it and I don't like it, I stop. Follow your bliss. I don't do something just for money. I learned 10 years ago that doesn't work for me. I can make a ton of money doing something and still be miserable if I don't like it. It's not worth it. Follow your bliss. And that means one day I'm wearing a hat that's life coach hat. Another time I'm wearing a love coach and relationship hat. And I'm a business coach and leadership. And I certify coaches. And I'm teaching business and marketing, right? And I'm teaching branding. And the next minute I'm talking about my journey and my health journey. And I can talk about whatever I want. I can teach whatever I want. If I'm gifted at it and I can help to set someone free and it creates a paycheck or a stream of income for my family. I was recently inside the Coach Consortium, inside of our private circle. And I shared my money, in essence. I shared all of my different streams of income and I shared how much money I make from all of my different streams of income. And I don't really do that. I don't do that. And I shared it. And when I shared it, literally, so many of the coaches in the circle were like, oh my God, what? What? And I realized something. I have worked so hard, you guys, over the years at building and building and building. And when you put your head down and you work, and you lift your head up just to get direction and guidance and course correction from God, and then you go back to work, it's amazing what you can accomplish. It's amazing what you can accomplish. And literally, when I wrote it out and I'm sharing, being very transparent about all the money that I make, and the coaches are just like, oh my God, this is crazy. This is complete inspiration. But I needed to show them that so they understand how much money is out here to be made in coaching, in your business. Yes, Terry, you need to join. Yes, because literally as I shared, I sat back and here's something, fight or fold. I realized, because as I've launched more of my business coaching and coaching certification and I'm training more coaches, because I branded myself 10 years ago for love and relationships, and I've been doing all this business coaching and coaching coaches and leadership over here for years, but it wasn't really public. And so now I'm going public with all of it. And I realize I have to talk more about my success because those are my receipts, right? If I want you to trust me and be inspired, and I want you to be like, oh my God, this is a deal. $47, 50% off for her circle. I need to be in there. The only way you're going to know what you're getting is to understand that I have $25,000 VIP clients, that I have programs for $10,000 and $25,000 that sell to people all over the world. And then by understanding how many different streams of income that I've created and how much money I make, you're then able to understand, oh my God, she's teaching in this circle for only $47. Yeah, I need you to get it. I need you to understand. that I've never done anything like this before. I've never given my all inside of a group coaching program for only $47. And I'm doing that because I want to lead the next movement of healers and coaches. I want to be able to pour into, create a healing movement. Create a movement. And who are the healers? Who are the ministers? Who are the people who are making a difference in the world? Coaches. Coaches. Especially spirit-led coaches, right? So fight or fold. Fight or fold. I have to fight. I have to overcome my shyness around not talking about money. I have to overcome my programmed fears. I was raised in a family where you don't really talk about money because that seems arrogant or not humble. So I have to overcome my own programming that says, no, Reggie, you got to talk about money because that's the only way people are going to understand. Right? And it's not just about money. I look at money. Money is about freedom. Money is about being able to do whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do. That's what money does. Money gives you the freedom to live life on your own terms. Money gives you the freedom to not be sitting back stressed and worried at a time like this because you know you've got this much money sitting back as a cushion that you can weather a storm, that if not another dime comes in for how much amount of time, you're good because you've saved money, because you have such an excess of money that you can't even spend the amount of money that you're making. I'm talking to somebody. That's real life for me. That's real life for certain entrepreneurs who have created multiple streams of income, that there's no financial pressures, that there's no worries. That's, Jennifer, you need to be in there. There isn't any reason that you can't build multiple streams of income to where you're never worrying about money. I do not believe it is God's will for us to be worrying about money. Why? Because you are at your best. You are most creative. Yep, it's still 47, Terry. You're at your best, guys, when you're not financially stressed. You're at your best when money's just flowing. This is when you're creative. It's when you're your most anointed. It's when the Spirit of God is flowing. The Holy Spirit flows through you. Ideas. God will put people on your mind. Hey, Sequoia. God will have the new business ideas flow. The books will download. Programs flow. Everything flows through you when you're not worried about money. When you're not worried about money, you literally are, you are a genius. You're a dynamo. God, whatever it is you're into and whatever God's called you to do and all your different talents and skills, when you're able to just flow in those things without worrying about bills, worrying about money, worrying about having enough or just making the bills every month, you're a genius. You're a genius. That's where that genius comes from, the Spirit of God flowing through you. Well, in order to have that peace, you've got to have financial security. One of the worst things about a lot of believers is that no one's taught them how to really make money and do that unapologetically. No shame. See, I have no shame and I'm totally unapologetic about my multiple streams of income, right? But I now have to learn how to be more public because I've been privately very successful. Very successful. And the other thing, it's not about how many followers you have on social media. I don't have hundreds of thousands of followers on social media. I don't have millions of followers on social media. But I'm making more money than a lot of influencers and a lot of coaches because I understand business. And so I have business systems in place that are making money. I can make more money with 1,000 true supporters than people with hundreds of thousands of followers. There's a difference between supporters and followers, right? Anyway, guys, I've got a client. I've got to run. I love you guys to pieces. It's time to fight. It's time to fight. Sequoia, you need to be inside of the circle. Jennifer, let's go. Let's go. I am so excited about what God is doing, and it's a perfect time, you guys. It is a perfect time. You've got a little more time on your hands. They're talking about some things shutting down even more. You've got some time right now. Invest it in building your dreams. Invest it in building multiple streams of income. Invest it in literally doing whatever makes you happy, and monetize it. Monetize it. Follow your bliss. And this is what I'll add, monetize it. Monetize it, right? There's nothing like doing what you love and getting paid for it. What? My life is amazing. Guys, listen, I can't even describe how awesome my life is. My life is like a dream life for people. I wake up when I want, I schedule clients when I want, I make as much money as I want. I have all this leeway to do whatever I want to do. It'll be the middle of the afternoon, I'm going to get my hair done, I'm going to have lunch. I mean, I have balance, and I make as much money as I want, no limits. And I get to do something I love that is as effortless as breathing. It just comes to me naturally, and I get to write books about it, and I get to be paid for it. Top dollar from people all over the world. That's right, then, living abundantly. That's why nearly all my brands have the word abundant life in it, because I believe in living abundantly. And that's what I want to help you do. So listen, it's time to fight. It's time to go after it. It's time to faith it. Faith it. It's time to activate it. It's time to get to work. That's what it's time to do. It's time to get to work. I have 2 books coming out this year. 2. Why? I'm working. We got to next level. It's time. All right, guys. Mwah. Love you. Blessings in abundance. I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you for coming on. I'll see you inside the circle. The link is up above on the video. Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.